So one of the very first side quests that you receive in God of War, that you don't actually get to finish until close to the end of the game, is about the dwarven king known as Motsognir. We learn in game that Motsognir was the son of Ivaldi, and he was regarded as the dwarven king who ruled over the regions of Veidagard and Konungsgard. It doesn't take long before we find out about the king's obsession with creating the legendary armour, known as the depiction. The armour itself was believed to provide ultimate protection, but in order for it to be constructed, 3 rare ingredients would have to be collected, and so Motsognir had his people hunt and capture a variety of extremely powerful and rare creatures, including several dragons, as he believed harnessing their power to be the key. In his desperate search, the king would collect 2 of the ingredients needed, but as his obsession overcame him, the search for the 3rd is what drove him insane. In their search, Kratos and Atreus do eventually stumble across the withered corpse of the king, and were shown a journal entry containing the details to his story. When Motsognir first became king, he was good and just, but he soon began to have dreams of his people being slain, and that is the reason he forced them to hunt these powerful creatures. He captured 3 dragons and harvested their fury, and he then harvested the screams of innocent people, killing them to make the armour that he believed would save them all. It would be those innocent people that would return as Hellwalkers and exact their revenge on the Dwarven King. Shortly after, we find another journal entry, this time containing the last words of Motsognir. Tragic that my failure becomes apparent as the life flows out of me. The gods came to me as I slept, and demanded retribution for my father's actions in Niflheim. My people, they who entrusted me to keep them safe. Every damn night, visions of them mangled by all manner of beast. Only I could protect them, and only through building the depiction. I captured every deadly beast I could find, and set to building the myth. The dreams were very clear about the dragon's fury, and the screams of the innocent. Though many were sacrificed capturing the dragons, and the innocent screams were far worse than I'd ever imagined, all of it was for the greater good. Of the 3rd ingredient, my dreams were vague. Ultimate sacrifice is all they would say. I had hoped forfeiting my morality during this damn search would be enough. Now I see that it was my own sacrifice that was required. Like my father before me, I've been such a fool. Motsognir, son of Ivaldi. When this story begins, we're led to believe that Motsognir was some kind of evil king or tyrannical leader, but by the end we see that he was essentially paying for the sins of his father. He valued nothing more than the protection of his people, and he blindly placed his faith in the legend of the depiction, the armour he believed would keep them all safe, a gamble that would ultimately cost Motsognir his life, and many of the people that resided in his kingdom. In God of War he was the son of Ivaldi, but in Norse mythology many regard Motsognir to be the father of all dwarves, resided in the realm of Nidavellir. Motsognir was not fathered by another dwarf, he was instead created by Odin and his 2 brothers from the body of Ymir when he was slain. It's said that the dwarves originally took the form of a maggot, and they were later given a rough humanoid appearance and human-like intelligence, attributes that would be inherited by all dwarves to come. The story of Motsognir is definitely quite interesting, and the idea of a dwarf king who falls victim to the temptation of a great legend, and is weighed down by the burden of keeping his people safe, is very reminiscent to The Hobbit and much of Tolkien's work, who himself was quite heavily influenced by Norse mythology. If you enjoyed this video and you have any thoughts and ideas you'd like to share about the Dwarf King, then let me know in the comments below. As always, I've been your host, Mythology and Fiction Explained.